welcome to.
Welcome to Shit That Matters.
Thank you.
Your shit that matters.
Yeah. We used to be Weird Vibes with Michelle and Bud,
Yeah.
but we changed the name because nobody got it. But
Yeah,
became
but
Shit
it's
That
because when I met him, I thought that he had a weird vibe.
Matters. She ghosted me like
Yeah,
for 9 months
Mhm.
plus. I'm like,
Really?
what the hell? And then we finally got talking, and I'm like, are we kind of friends? She's like, yeah. And I go, why'd you ghost me? She goes, you gave me a weird vibe. I'm like, I got a weird vibe.
Yeah.
Yes. So
You're just so you're
go.
High energy.
high
energy.
It's
energy.
the high energy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
get it. I'm high energy as well. I scare people away.
Yeah. So.
I don't think that I'm high energy. I think I just kind of look like a bitch, but I'm really not. But I just look like that.
Well,
You don't have an
talk to
RBF
no.
at all.
Oh,
Hi,
well, that's
resting
good.
bitch
It's
face,
because
yeah.
I just ate a little bit, but normally I do. But
So for people that don't know,
mhm.
this is Jeff.
Jeff Rodgers, Angry Garlic, Angry Smokehouse.
How long
Nice.
have you had angry garlic for?
Angry Garlic, September 21st will be 5 years.
5
Oh,
years.
only
Wow.
5 years.
Wow.
Oh.
Doing something cool for it?
Yeah,
or-
we're gonna have a little bit of a party. We're gonna roll out some of the original menu items that we had on
Oh,
the
nice.
original menu.
Original price?
Original price.
You're gonna take a hit, man.
I know. I am
When you're
well
taking
aware.
a hit. Woof.
And then of course, I'll do an appreciation party for the guests and for the staff, and
yeah.
run some specials for food and drink. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What made you? So, how'd you get started in this? You came from real estate.
Oh God, no! I started 33 years ago when I was 16 years old at Drumlin's Country Club.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, Leon Zorro was my boss back then.
Leon Zor. I know Chuck and
Yeah.
Pascal. I know the Pascals. They had it then, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. Yeah, and I was a busboy / dishwasher / cigarette picker upper in the parking lot.
Mm.
And then I slowly moved my way into a bar back position there, and then slowly worked my way on to a frying and grill cook there. And then I fell in love with the industry. I got into real estate when I sold a restaurant 2 restaurants ago, the Burgundy Lounge. When I owned the Burgundy Lounge, I sold that.
Burgundy Lounge. Where was that?
Used to be Rafferty's downtown.
Oh yeah, the Burgundy Lounge. Didn't Charlene Gentile used to work there?
She helped me run the place.
Yeah. Char
Yeah.
was there then. I've
Yeah.
been in there a couple of times. I didn't know that was you there then.
Yeah, that was
But
my
I remember
place.
when Char was there. Great person.
Yeah,
Super
Char's
cool
great.
person, yeah.
Kevin, incredible
Kevin's
person.
great. Yeah, super good.
Yeah,
Super
I
good.
was just
per-
hanging out,
Talented as
just
hell.
talking to Kevin and I just did a private dinner a few weeks ago together.
Oh wow. I hope I know last time I saw him, his health is getting better.
He's doing
But
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Burgundy Lounge. What else?
Previous to that,
Yeah.
I opened up 10 other restaurants for other people. I was part of the
In
opening-
Syracuse or
all over the place. Alexandria Bay, Syracuse, Rochester.
what places? Oh my gosh.
Ocean City, Maryland. In
Locally.
A Bay, it was called the Monticello Lounge and Nightclub up there. It used to be PJ's Lounge back in the 80s and 90s.
I don't remember that.
Lador, which used to be a French restaurant downtown for my
Oh yeah,
my
with
friend Jan and Alexia.
Jan. Yeah.
Yeah, I opened that place.
Super
up with him.
talented guy as well. It's a
Yeah.
shame he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Proud to say I was part of the opening team for Empire Brewing Company.
With Dave?
Yeah, Dave Kowalski.
Got paid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody got fucking paid because he didn't pay anybody, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Not a.
Rochester, place called Hot Shots.
Oh
beach
God,
volleyball.
yeah, I know where Hot Shots is. Yeah, holy shit. Oh wow, yeah,
So I was
yeah.
part of a lot of different opening
Oh,
teams,
wow.
which is wonderful.
And then didn't you teach bartending?
I still own Top Shelf Bartenders. It's a bartending school that I own. Yep. But since COVID hit and since I've been super busy with 2 restaurants now, I honestly haven't had time to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
But you did
Do
the
you teach?
spinning the bottle shit.
I was a
and stuff.
flair bartender
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you teach or you have employees that teach?
I was teaching it myself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I
Nice.
loved it. It
Mhm.
was so fun. It was relaxing actually. It was a nice break.
I do feel like that. Like now, I've gotten to the point where I've removed myself. We were just sort of
Yeah.
talking about it, almost removed myself from doing all of the positions. Like I help out here and there where I need to, but I'm not like fully ever working like a bartending shift
Right.
or like a cook shift or anything like that. And I'm like, when I get the opportunity to do it, I'm like, let's go. Like
Yeah.
I love it,
Yeah.
but I do feel like it's like relaxing that you can just.
It is.
like-
It's nice.
You probably
And you don't
miss
have to
10 and
think about
bar
it.
then.
Oh,
yeah. Oh my
I miss
gosh.
being on those sticks so bad.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
miss it.
That's
I
the first
do.
time I ever heard your name. Was people going to your classes and doing this? There's a guy in Syracuse named Jeff Rodgers who flings the bottles and does the shit. That's the first time I ever heard your name.
Yeah.
And then I heard it from real estate. And then somebody said, hey, there's this guy who's going to open a restaurant in Baldwinsville called Angry Garlic.
Yep.
So where'd that name come from? How did you?
Angry Garlic.
It's
It,
catchy. It's got a
we knew we wanted the name Garlic because we were actually, when we looked at that space, we were going between garlic themed restaurant or a barbecue, and we decided to go Garlic simply because there are no like real authentic garlic
no.
based restaurants. The
Mhm.
closest one is, I think, called The Garlic in Florida. And we're like, why not? Let's just do it, something different. And then the name, we narrowed it down to like 32 names that had the name Garlic in it. And then finally, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure exactly how it came about, but we woke up one morning and we're like, angry, angry, angry. I called up my buddy Nick Wycegis, who I've known since kindergarten, and he's an amazing graphic designer now in
The
Rochester.
design's cool with the face. Have you seen it
Yeah.
with yeah, it's
And I
pretty
was
cool.
like, I called him up. I'm like, Nick, I need you to draw me a pissed off piece of garlic. He's like, what?
Oh my
Like,
gosh, that's
I just
pretty
need you
cool.
to draw this for me.
Yeah.
And the second drawing he did is the one I stuck with. I'm like, it's perfect. Don't change a
Yeah.
thing. The first one was too angry. It was actually a picture similar to, like, Sam Kinison,
Yeah.
the old comedian. It was like his face popping out of a garlic, and I was like, that's too angry.
too
And
much.
we're gonna scare kids.
Yeah. It's too much.
We can't do that.
But the name gets you. You can call a place the zone, the inn, the Jaspers, whatever. But Angry Garlic just hits you, and makes people want to go there. And then once you're there, you have to do things right to get
Yeah.
people to keep coming back, which you've done.
I'm very
know?
blessed. Yeah,
Yeah.
the staff is amazing there.
So
Yeah.
when you say we, who's your
My wife and I. Yeah, my wife and I. Her name's Tiffany.
nice?
Yeah, we came up with that concept together, and same with Angry Smokehouse. We did it all together.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you had to be angry down there. It had to stick. It wasn't as hard as the first one. You had to call it Angry something, right?
Yeah, we were gonna
So-
go with Angry Smoke originally, but then we were afraid people would confuse us for like a vape shop or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I went with Smokehouse.
I like. Did you do it on purpose that it's ash too?
Yeah, no. So again, Nick
That's pretty cool.
Wycegis,
Mm-hmm.
the guy that does all of my I went to him. I'm like, Angry Smokehouse is coming. I need you to design me like a logo and this and that. And he had Angry, and then below it Smoke, and then below it House on the original design. And he's the one that pointed. He's like, "You realize it spells ash, right?" I was like,
Oh my
"That is awesome!
It's
It's like
perfect.
it's so
Yeah,
meant to
it's
be."
perfect. Yeah.
Moat, that's
Yeah.
like something in the air. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
it
cool.
was super. I
Yeah.
didn't really realize it until
Until-
he pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
And lined everything up, and I was
Mhm.
like, "That's so cool."
Would you do another concept?
I don't think I would do a different concept style restaurant, if anything, and it's something my wife and I talk about often. We're gonna open up another Angry Garlic.
Okay.
Fayetteville.
Fayetteville. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been
Nice.
targeting Fayetteville. So as soon as the right location opens up, we looked at Kirby's when that became available,
Mhm.
and someone just bought the building actually.
I thought
So
Chris Miley had bought it, but it didn't go through.
he didn't buy the building. He was going in there on a lease, from my understanding.
Okay.
And then that didn't work out, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I have no idea, though. I hear this all third
Yeah.
and fourth hand.
What was he gonna go in with? Original grain?
No, he's going to do.
I think he was going to do Exo Taco over there.
Yeah, XO.
Oh.
And then
Oh.
somebody said he was going to put a steakhouse in. Then it was going to be XO. It would have been. He has a good following at XO.
Yeah.
He'd have done very well over there, I think.
Chris is a great business owner. He does a fantastic
I don't
job.
know him personally. I know Mark. Him and Mark are buddies.
Yep.
Bullis.
Yeah, they
Mark
both
does
do.
a really good job.
Mark's awesome.
People. I've known Mark, or consider him friends for a long time. He's very good at what he does.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things I like that he does that people don't give him credit for is he'll go like to Lincoln, Nebraska or something, and he'll say, "Hey, I'm going to go to Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm going to Nashville. I'm going to Key West. Anybody tell me what restaurants I should go to so I can look for new menu items to bring here?"
Yeah.
And he'll go find shit. Like he's the one that brought Pronto Fresh here.
Yeah.
He had saw this concept in New York City that, how it worked and stuff, and he brought it here and opened it and tried it.
Yeah.
And then, so it's really cool to see new ideas coming here.
No, Mark does an amazing job. He really
He's
does.
about himself. He's about his business and himself. He's not necessarily going to collaborate with a big group of people and try to help everybody.
Mhm.
He's about his business and his staff and his thing, and that works for him, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it when people think outside the box like that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, or open
new
to
ideas, new
ideas. Yeah.
businesses. Absolutely.
Did you see St. Urban was closing or?
I did see that.
Yeah. Do you know Jared or?
I don't know. I don't know Jared personally. I've eaten there a couple times and it was unbelievable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But he's going to a different area,
I,
right?
ideally, he's going to go to Manhattan. I hope
Yeah.
that really happens. I know a lot of times when people close, they say it's going to happen. I hope he does.
Yeah.
It's probably more conducive for his business, that model down there.
Yep.
I don't know that it's here, but so no, I mean, I was worried at first. People had talked that okay, he's opening an Angry Smokehouse. He owns the dirt over there. You don't own the dirt at the Garlic, right?
I
It's a lease.
don't.
You have a
No.
great lease, right? With
I have
great,
a fantastic lease there, and I have zero interest in owning the dirt there.
yeah.
That building is a nightmare.
Mhm.
But it isn't like okay, now when his lease is up, he's just going to close that and keep this.
Nope,
No.
nope, not at all. No, my lease over there, I still have another 25 years on my lease if I decide to use all my options.
Oh.
Yeah.
So why buy it? I have a
Yeah.
great lease over there, and
No offense,
filling-
dude, but if you're 74, still fucking grinding at the Garlic, I might have to come in and kick your ass. Jesus, that's a long time.
No
man.
way,
Oh my
man.
gosh,
Yeah.
there's
My
no way.
goal, I have 12, 13 more years. If my kids want me to train them in the industry, great. I will train them in the industry, and they can take over the businesses. If not, my goal is to cash out and enjoy
Yeah,
life.
Mhm.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Good,
honestly.
good. It's just not. That's not happening a lot. The next generation coming through, you don't see that a lot. That's why you see a lot of these places not have an exit plan because there's nobody to take it over, and maybe they don't own the dirt,
Mhm.
so there's no exit plan. So how do you get out?
Well, so I'm a second generation, and I feel like there was three of us, and I'm the only one that was like interested. Like both my siblings worked for my parents, but like it's growing up a restaurant kid. You're like it's like a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's like grinding. Like I have a 5-year-old, and he's here. He's at both places all the time.
He's
Yeah.
the
So-
owner, actually. The way he walks around, he thinks he owns the
Oh
place.
yeah, he want yeah. Oh yeah, yep. We were here the other night, and he walked. I was like looking for him. I look over. He's behind the bar pouring himself a cranberry juice.
Oh
like,
my god.
I'm like, all
5.
right, yeah. I'm like, all right. Like this is getting to be a little bit too much. But I just feel like it's just a lot. So I don't know how many people.
But that's how you start in it, is
Yeah.
having that exposure to
Yeah.
it.
Same with
When
my
I was a
kids.
kid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
my mom.
I mean, I wouldn't change it for anything
Uh-huh.
because I loved it and I have a passion for like food and drink now. But I feel like
Well, you
if-
have to because I
Yeah.
don't think people do it for the monetary return. Because if you put in the number of hours you put in compared to the return you get financially, you can make more money working, mowing lawns.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Oh,
the way
God,
it
yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
But my mom ran a bar in my hometown, and I was 14, 13, 14. I went in and bar back, and she, back then you're the bartender and the cook. And I go back and she taught me how to cook in a fryer and
Mhm.
grill a hamburger, and I fucking loved it. I
Yeah.
learned how to shoot pool. I became friends with the vending guys because back then, if you remember this in vending, they had red quarters. You know what a red quarter is? I guarantee you, the old man knows what a red quarter is. So the vending
the-
company comes in and they empty the quarters out of the pool table, and then they give the bar owner red quarters painted in red.
Mhm.
So those quarters are for if something happens to the pool table, a ball gets stuck.
Mm.
They give you it. So Pete Nichols Vending, shout out. He's passed away now. Pete saw me 14 years old, and he'd come empty the machine. And I remember looking, it'd be overflowing with quarters.
Yeah.
And he'd go, hey, kid, come here. And he'd give me 10, 12 red quarters, and I could play pool.
That's awesome.
That's got you hooked in the business. And
Yeah.
you just, I bar back when you did stuff in college. You cooked here, you cooked there, and then you can't get away from it once you get the taste of it.
No, and
So-
I think that my kids will get involved. I do.
Yeah.
My oldest son Jared, he was young when I had the Burgundy Lounge. I used to bring him to work all the time with me,
Mhm.
and he'd be standing behind that bar, same kind of thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Pour himself a drink, or
Yep.
there was a guest sitting at the bar. They're like, "Hey, can I get a
Oh,
pour him a
that's
soda?"
so cool. That's
we go
so
in the
cool.
kitchen and help run food during
Mhm.
lunch. And now my middle son Jonah, he's 12. He and Josiah come down to the smokehouse quite often. And Jonah's all about the second he comes in there. I happen to be on Expo every time he comes in there. And he'll glove up and he'll be like, "All right, Daddy, where can I bring this food?"
Yeah.
No
like-
kid. How old?
He's 12.
Fucking
And he'll
love
sit
that.
there, he'll
Fucking
grab
love that.
trays,
Mhm.
and he'll run food. He knows where
Mhm.
all the tables are. He knows table numbers.
Yeah.
He knows how to put them down, and so on and so forth. And then my son Josiah is exactly what you just described with your 5-year-old.
Yeah.
He walks around with a strut like he owns the place.
Yeah.
And he'll go behind the bar, pour himself.
Yeah.
He'll grab a can of pineapple juice, fill it with ice and
Oh
Yeah.
my
it's
God.
He's
hysterical.
well, so Elijah does want to be a chef because he
Nice.
thinks I'm a chef.
Hmm.
Because there's been times during COVID when he would have to be like, we would be understaffed and I would be cooking and he would be in a chair next to the line because I was cooking. So he thinks that I'm a chef, but I am not. But yeah, it's because my staff spoils him.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, he's the baby, he's the whatever, and they come in, whatever you want. Oh, you want more fries?
Well,
You want a
'cause he's
steak?
cute too.
You want a
That's very
salmon? They
He
make him
wants
what it's
salmon.
yeah.
Sam
He's
and
a steak.
5-year-old.
Now he says, I don't know if it was my dad, but whatever. He comes in and gets a steak every time because I'm a steak man.
Oh
I mean,
boy.
he's a
my
steak
God.
man.
Oh boy, you're in
Yeah.
trouble.
I
Yeah,
know. So I'm
geez.
like, all right, but everybody's like, my chefs are like, oh yeah, we gotta get him cooking soon. I said, no, you do not.
No.
He is dishes
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Dishes and bus. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's not gonna grow up where he just gets to skip all the
No, you
things
gotta
I
work
didn't
his
get to
way up.
skip.
No.
Yeah. So
But it's funny what you said. I used to work for a food distributor a million years ago, the challenging food distributor locally. And one of the things I learned a lot. One, I learned from Pete was a sale isn't a sale until you get paid.
Right.
And two was always, when you walk in the back of the restaurant, always shake hands with the dishwasher, the prep cook, the guy on the line. Always the maintenance guy, go over and say hi, tell him your
mhm.
name. Pete would give him cards because you go around the city here and look at people that are running kitchens, or they were dishwashers, prep cooks sometime, and
Mm.
now they own the restaurant.
Yeah.
They're going to remember that, hey, here's this guy coming back. I remember him when I was a dishwasher and he treated me like shit. So always take care of those people.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
you
and
know.
they're underappreciated. They
Yeah,
really
oh my
are in
God,
the
yeah,
industry overall.
yeah.
They're underappreciated.
Well, I
Um,
just
But you guys have something really good in common that maybe some of the other places doesn't have. Is I don't think you have a lot of unwanted turnover in
No.
your staffs. The people you have do a really good job, and it's a profession, it's a job, it's a way they pay their bills, but they're working for something. They're not just collecting a paycheck from Angry Smokehouse or from the Braz or from Emerald. They're here because they want to help you and they're part of you. It's kind of a family kind of
mhm.
thing. Everybody I ever
Very
see
much.
at Smokehouse or Garlic is just on point. Same. They're all on point, you
Yeah.
know.
I'm very blessed. I am.
Yeah.
When it comes
Yeah.
to staff, I am so blessed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They don't leave. I have a lot of the staff that I have at AG. They've been there since day one with me.
Yeah.
They don't
Jeez.
leave, and that's BOH, not just FOH.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
for me to be able to keep BOH for 5
Yeah.
years,
Mhm.
I am very blessed.
And it's not people. I hate to see in the paper. I've said this a million times where people go, "Oh my gosh, man, restaurant owners are short staffed. If they just paid a living wage to people, it doesn't matter. You could pay $40 an hour. It doesn't matter. You're not going to bring certain people in.
Right.
It takes a certain type of person to come and do it. And I think that demographic today of maybe 25 to 37-year-old people that are maybe working in the back of the house, they want to be part of something.
Yeah.
It has to be more
Yeah.
than just a paycheck.
I feel like
You
they
know?
need to feel like appreciated.
Yeah.
Like they're not just, which I think is what a lot of local businesses bring, is that the owner is right there being
Well, it's
like,
cool that you're Expo.
I
I
think,
think
it
it's
makes
cool.
a gigantic difference that
Mhm.
you need to be you need to be present.
People,
have
when
to.
you, we go in late at night and get the best thing on the fucking menu, which is the smoked spaghetti. And I apologize every time I told somebody to go to your smokehouse. I say, get the smoked spaghetti. I don't say the ribs, the chicken, the cream corn. I
Mhm.
tell them about the smoked spaghetti. But when we go in and get it, we watch you go run into the tables, and people know that maybe you're going to bring them that food, and maybe that's why they go sometimes because the
Maybe.
owner's there. And
How do
say
you
hi to
do
'em.
how do you do both? I'm struggle busing doing
I
two.
It's the
again,
bike, right?
thankfully, it's the e-bike that my guest bought me.
Oh,
You know that? That's how he
no.
gets back and forth.
Oh, really?
a,
Oh.
a good friend of mine who I met through Angry Garlic after I opened up Angry Garlic. He and his family bought me an e-bike after I opened up the smokehouse. And on one side, there's a huge sticker right by the foot pegs that says "Heading to Angry Garlic," and if you turn it around, it says "Heading to Angry Smokehouse." It's hysterical. So I do use it. I really do.
Fly
Oh.
over the bridge,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I do use it. It's
Hilarious.
fun. And
Yeah.
and all the locals sitting at the four corners. I'm on the four corner waiting for the light. They're all honking. I
Yeah.
can't, Jeff. Oh my God. So
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
that's
yeah,
awesome.
man.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
It's really, really, really hard to manage both. So I rely on my team at Angry Garlic to manage Angry Garlic. Anna and Tiffany.
Yeah,
and,
they do a really
you
good
know,
job, man.
Kaylee. I mean, there's a team there that I have that when I had to make the transition of going over the smokehouse, it was flawless, and Anna and Kaylee and Tiffany were the faces of Angry Garlic long before I decided to make that transition, which was done purposely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So all the guests coming in there, they don't say, "Oh my God, where's Jeff?" They say, "Oh, is Anna here today?
Right.
Or is Tiffany here today? Or is Kaylee here today?" It's no longer, "Where's Jeff?" You
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
So it really
Who's
did.
the
It
one that
went
just got
seamless.
married not too long ago? Oh, last summer maybe? They came in.
Emma.
Emma got
Yeah,
married.
she's
Yeah,
been with
yeah.
me a long time
Yeah,
too.
she's been
She's
there forever
awesome.
too. Yeah, she's great. She's
She is
great.
a remarkable bartender, one of the fastest I've seen in the industry. And she's on point, man. She comes into work and she is on point every single time. But yeah, she's been with me a long time as well, and
Little
she,
things that they do there that I notice is I got two pet peeves. One is silverware.
yeah,
Like I'm upset if I go and I'm going to spend 20. If I'm going to Mimi's or Market Diner or going to get a breakfast, and maybe they're wrapping silverware, or I get my silverware and I got a 25-cent fork. Okay, but if I'm going to Smokehouse or Come Here or go to Arid Evans or Dark Horse, I don't want a 25-cent fork.
right.
I want a real fork that costs a buck and a half.
It's
Right.
not going to
Mhm.
bend when you.
Right. Yeah, I want a real fork because it means something.
Well,
That's
don't
big.
yeah, well, we have all of our plateware and silverware and everything is secondhand.
Okay. Oh, that's
So,
cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
so
So I won't rag.
don't
I don't use it.
don't be
I don't
putting
use it
me
because all
in
I ever
yeah,
eat here is
the
the smash
burger.
burger and
Yeah.
fries.
Yeah.
But and the other thing is when I go to a bar, I hate walking up to the bar and having somebody not acknowledge you.
Yeah.
And I go to the bar,
Mm.
and your bartenders can be down there, here, or there, and it's not me. I'm not so vain that I think they're only saying it to me. You watch them, and they say, "I'll be right with you in a minute. I'll be right with you in a minute."
Yeah.
And just that acknowledgement that they'll be right in a minute makes the time not seem like anything
Oh
because
my
they said
God.
they're going to be with you.
Yeah.
It's a little thing.
It
A lot of places don't do that.
it's imperative.
Yep.
It's absolutely imperative,
Mm.
especially if your bar is 2 or 3 deep. You
Yep.
have to acknowledge those guests.
When they
Yeah.
don't, it's just so frustrating. You just feel ignored.
Yep.
So,
And I always, one of the first things I used to train my bartenders on when I had the bartending school, and even when I'm opening up restaurants for either myself or other people and training bartenders, is it's going to sound silly, but coaster acknowledgement. So if you acknowledge the guest and you have a coaster and you put a coaster down, not only does the other bartender you're working with know that that guest has already
oh
been
wow,
acknowledged, but the guest knows that they've been acknowledged as well. It's not just a verbal, "Hey, I'll be right with
that's
you,"
pretty
but it's
cool,
also
man.
putting a coaster down so that they know you're going to eventually
I
get
need
back
you
to
to come
them.
and train me.
That's pretty cool. I've never heard that.
It
That's
sounds
awesome.
silly, but it makes a gigantic difference, especially if you have 2 or 3 bartenders working with you.
Mhm.
And if the bar is 2 or 3
That's
deep,
pretty
Mhm.
cool.
yeah,
Because once you get that, then they know that you're.
they know that I'm on my way,
Yeah.
and it's
Okay.
a reminder for me as well. If that guest is too deep, that all right, I already said hi to them. I got to get back to them because they have a
I
coaster.
think it was either
Yeah.
Jason or Nader, Jason Thomas or Nader, that told me, and the one I like to use is, okay, say we're all out to dinner, we're waiting, and we're like, oh my God, we don't have a table yet. Oh my God, I see that there's nobody sitting at that table
Oh
over there.
yeah,
Why don't they sit you? And people will go, I want to sit at this table, and they okay, and they bring you over and sit you at a dirty table. Now they got to come over, they got to wipe the table
Yep.
off, they got to come back with this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, I've been here 20 minutes. Never sit somebody. Always sit them at a table that's already ready because
oh my God,
as
yeah.
long as
Yeah.
you wait in line, if I'm standing in line waiting,
Mhm.
I'm waiting. Once I get sat, that's when my internal mind clicks to how long it's taken for me to get my shit.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
just sorry.
No, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I just last night had my fall staff meeting for Brasserie, and that was one of the things that we went over because obviously the summer is slower for us because we don't have it's just we have no outdoor seating and it's just slow. But we're getting really into our busy time. We're on waits like for lunches and dinners and everything. And so that's one of the things that we went over is acknowledging. I said it's everybody's job. Like we're not going to be like ignoring the hosts when people come in, you acknowledge them. Servers, don't ignore your tables if you can't get to them, and bartenders.
Mhm.
But I just had to have we got a little pushback, not pushback, but the hosts, which I understand if there's a long line and they're like, we want to sit these guests,
No, no,
and
no.
they're like, we need to sit them, and it's like the pressure because they're the face, and I'm like, I understand that, but immediate like if you try to rush them and the table's not set or the server's not ready or the kitchen isn't caught up, that just what you just
My
said,
clock
the
doesn't
clock
start till I sit down.
starts. But I'm like, you have to be confident and comfortable in the fact that they're waiting for an experience from us, that is a good one. They're like become confident that we're going to provide them a great experience and that they can wait a second and that we're doing the right thing by them by making them like wait.
Well, you take it one
Yeah.
step farther. What's the place in the old? Oh God, there's one in Auburn and there's one in Skinny Atlas. The old Joe's Garage. Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. My wife loves it there. My son loves it there. And when you go to get seated, your water or glass and your breadsticks or free breadsticks, they're on the table when you get there.
Yep.
Before they seat you, part of the setting up the table is the water is already
water
on
on
the
the table,
table. It's
yep.
already poured, and there's breadsticks on your table.
Yep.
So when you sit down,
Oh yeah.
you've
that's
got
nice.
something, which is smart.
Mhm.
God, I'm losing my mind. I can't remember the name of it.
There's
Right on.
nothing worse than seating someone at a table that's not prepared because they're say exactly how you just worded it. You know, they've been in line, they're sitting at the door, doors backed up, then they're getting, you know, they come inside, it's going to probably be 10 minutes to your table, they're bugging you, and then you just seat them. Someone seats them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe even a server seats them that just because they saw the door was getting backed up.
Mhm.
They seat them at a dirty table. They're already aggravated, and then they're going to put their elbows on a table
It's
that
dirty.
just had red wine spilled on it that
Mhm.
wasn't cleaned up yet.
Mhm.
Imagine how that's going to go.
The
You know,
impression.
and it's
You're already starting from behind.
You
Like
are, and
you're
you have-
already you not only do you have to like perform, but you have to make up for like
Yeah.
that piece that was not great.
Yeah.
Like
and mentally the guest is already thinking this is terrible. This is
Yeah.
a terrible experience right now.
Well, then
Yeah.
that's
So
the
the
next
chances of
question.
recovery are very
Yeah, because you're
minuscule.
starting in
Yeah.
the hole,
Yeah.
yes.
like the Cowboys did the other night. But
Right.
they came back and kicked the Giants' ass.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
or SU started out. Oh my God, they scored on the first play.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get killed, and then nothing ever happened. But that's the next question: is how do you deal with the negative stuff?
Kindness.
Kindness. When you
Yeah.
see it, do you go down the rabbit hole? I haven't said rabbit hole in a while
Um,
because Michelle has a tendency to get you go down.
I get sucked in. I get sucked into the where Syracuse eats. I never engage. I never respond. I did one time. Looking back, it was a
Yeah.
mistake. I was pissed though because they
I didn't mean to bring up bad
No,
stuff. I can
but
always
I'm
see
just
you
gonna say,
boiling.
I'm
You're
already
sitting up,
no,
your
but
shoulders went back.
I
you're
know,
like-
but I was mad because they made my staff cry. So, and
Can't
then they
have that.
complained about us. And we were in a rut. We were having some bad customer experiences. My staff was really, really discouraged. And I felt like I needed to stand up for my staff.
Yeah.
And probably should I have done it? No. Did it boost morale a little bit? Yeah.
yeah.
Because they felt like I had their back. But I gotta ask about the white bread and how these
Yes.
people are flipping out about it on where Syracuse eats,
Oh my
and
goodness.
because you do have the
bread.
best responses when people post negative things. I feel like you have to have like or not negative, but I feel like the hype. There was like a trend that everybody now had to go to Angry Smokehouse and share their opinion on
Yeah.
where Syracuse eats. Like it was like that they were in a club
Yeah.
that they got to do it.
And a lot of them want to be in the club that doesn't like you.
And unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's true.
You
They
know?
do want to be in the club
Yeah.
that doesn't
Yeah.
like the smokehouse. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, because it's very obvious. I've gotten bashed a lot on where Syracuse eats for the
Yeah.
smokehouse. You know, there's
Mhm.
been a lot of positive, but there has been a lot of negative. And it's nothing against, you know, Charlie Miller runs where Syracuse eats. He's
Yep.
a remarkable person.
Yep.
He's awesome. But the page itself, man,
It's toxic, man. I
it's-
can't be on it anymore.
That's what I mean. Like I get
Toxic.
caught in some of these arguments and I get like I'm like mad because I'm like you don't even know like what's going on here. I don't
Well,
know, but I feel
that's
like
just it. There's so many people going on there that haven't even been to the restaurant, and they're like,
Never
well, just
worked in a
based on
restaurant.
these reviews,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna go there. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Seriously?
yeah.
You know, and
Mhm.
and the white bread. So back to the
White bread, yeah.
Can I ask you because looking as a business owner looking from the outside looking in, it's probably the greatest marketing
Yes.
tool that
Well,
has ever it was such a conversation piece for
Yeah.
so long. Did you plan that?
I did not plan that. No.
Oh,
I mean,
okay. Because
the-
that's
the
You're
white-
smart, but
stroke
you're
of
not that
genius.
smart.
the
Yeah.
white bread literally strictly came from my barbecue road trip. 'Cause
Right. That's what
every
I
barbecue
thought.
joint I
Yeah.
went to served 4 to 8 slices of white bread on a platter. So I wanted to stick to as true to the roots of barbecue as I possibly could.
hmm
So instead of cornbread, instead of rolls, I went white bread. Um, I wouldn't say it worked out favorably for me, but I am kind of stubborn when it
You're
comes
not
to
Oh,
changing
you
it,
gotta
right?
stick to it.
Fuck that. You can't change it, man.
not
If you told me, oh
You
my
g
God, you
no,
can't
you
change it.
can't. You
no
can't.
can't.
You can't let them win.
Are you kidding me?
No,
After
No.
6.5 months of criticism, you think I'm
N
going to change it now?
no, you
No.
No, I'm going to
can't.
ride
That's
this shit out.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and literally, that's the story behind the white bread. True Texas, Tennessee, Kansas City, and the Carolinas. I went to 52 barbecue joints, and
Mhm.
48 of the 52 served white bread.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
some others served just hush puppies in place of white bread and cornbread and rolls. They would just serve hushies. You know, and then as you got closer to the East Coast and Northeast, I should say, you know, North Carolina, then I saw more cornbread and rolls and less white bread. But the true South and the true Midwest, they were all about the white bread. So that's why
Interesting.
I went
But if
with
that's
this.
the only, if they have to find something to complain about, which most people do, and it's the white bread, let them fucking complain about the white bread. They're not complaining about everything else.
That's what
You
I
know?
mean, yeah, that's what I was like. Imagine like the main complaints that you're getting is slice of white bread.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's got to be pretty um validating,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I
Yeah.
just think it was I could not believe the
But you
It
do
was-
catch
response
it's
to
it's
it.
beyond white bread now. There's people that are just they got it out. That it's the same with Christian and at Brewers Union. You know Christian,
Yeah.
right?
And
They
he's awesome.
him and his they're just the greatest people. That we do the breakfast club
Hmm.
thing where we do we go once a month. We're actually starting next month.
I was gonna
I'll do
say,
it
have
again.
you done that in a
We
while?
don't do it in the summer because
Oh,
nobody really
okay.
goes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try. I think our next place is gonna be Finally Hours.
Oh, nice.
On the
Okay.
hill people. I don't know the people there, but
Mm.
I'm gonna go talk to them and see if we can come in on a Saturday. There's usually 15, 20 of us.
Yeah.
We'll usually leave a couple $1,000. Brewers Union is the only one where she wanted to know how many people were coming, and she went out and bought coffee mugs and engraved them with brew and gave us all a coffee mug.
That's awesome.
He's
That's
just a
cool.
great guy.
He
But
really
they caught shit not because of the food, not because of the product, because people were like, so many people love this place. What is he doing? Is he paying for it? It can't be that fucking good. And he really takes it personal, man.
Yeah.
He really, really takes because it's your baby,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know? And I don't understand how people can get past the criticism and not just go home and, stick your head in a
It's
bucket,
tough.
you know?
It is tough, man. I'm not gonna sit here and
Because you're
tell you
there,
that-
you're passionate, you're working 75 hours a
That's
week
what
on the
hurts
thing.
the
yeah.
most when I read a lot of these reviews on where Syracuse eats or where Syracuse eats uncensored or if it's a negative Google review is, and it'll start out as someone posting something and 3 hours later I look back at this post because I gotta just try to get it out of my head. I have service to complete. I have a staff that depends on me. I gotta work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then 3 hours later, it's in the back of my head still. I'm like, let me see what these people are saying.
And it's 120, 300.
300 comments
Oh
later.
my God.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God.
You can't go
Oh
down
my
the
God.
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And
It's hard not to though. It's hard not to read
so
it
hard.
because you're either gonna think like live in this world where it's like what did like you don't know what they said,
Yeah.
and so you're like thinking the worst, but then you go and see what they said, and then that's hard too. It's not.
Yeah. And I wouldn't care if what the 300 comments had to say was constructive criticism.
No.
Hey, the place looks great inside. I had the brisket. It was delicious, but the ribs were a little dry. And if all
Okay.
300 of those comments said something like that, well, damn, I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to fix it,
Right.
and I will fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's just like, oh yeah, we went there and it was a 3 hour wait on a Tuesday. We'll never go back.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're gonna sit there and bitch that you had a 3 hour wait on a Tuesday and you're not gonna come back?
It can't be that good,
Yeah.
So
Well, I think
the worst I ever saw, which just this is the epitome of where Syracuse Eats is now. When it started, it was supposed to be like, hey, we're coming together, COVID's happening,
Yeah.
let's work as a
Support one
community and
another.
support everybody, and it just turned toxic. And I know the person that posted it, got on Syracuse Eats, and it was Beeville Diner. Lived in Beeville the last 14
Oh,
years.
yeah.
Beeville Diner's my go-to. Love it. Went last week. Ordered cheese sticks. They didn't have any marinara sauce. Fuck Beeville Diner. I'm never
Oh,
going back.
God.
So there's
kidding?
so many things wrong with that. Number one, you've been going 14 years and it's been great.
Yeah.
They make one mistake. Two, why are you getting your fucking cheese sticks at Beeville Diner?
Right.
And they don't have marinara sauce because they took spaghetti off the menu.
Yeah.
And so I know the person that did it. So I introduced him to Zach,
Yeah.
Jim Orlando's son
Yeah.
at the time, or son-in-law was running it, and I introduced him. And he's like, "Oh my God, I love your place. It's great." It's never fessed up to it. And then when he left, I told Zach, I just want you to know, that's the fucking guy that posted it. But why would you post that?
Yeah.
That's the post.
That's another thing that drives me up a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Is, if I see a negative comment, I was there last night for dinner, this happened, that happened, that happened, and I'll reach out to my staff. I'll be like,
Yeah.
all right, my lead was this person last night,
Mm-hmm.
my server's on, my bartender on. I'll reach out to every one of them. I'll be
What
like,
happened?
hey, did you hear anything, did any
Yeah.
guests complain about
Yeah.
this? If
Nope.
they did, was it resolved?
Yeah.
And most of the time, 92% of the time, it's no, we didn't have one single complaint, and I got to visit every single table,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everyone was raving about the food. And the other 8% is, yeah, you know what? They said that the pulled pork was a little bit too salty. I brought them out another third rack of ribs. The whole table
Yep.
left super happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's never ever, since I've owned Angry Garlic, since I've owned Angry Smokehouse, and very rarely in the last 33 years I've been doing this, has it very rarely ever been, I could not make them happy.
Yeah.
But since I own AG and Ash, not once have I heard from a lead or from a server or a bartender. They left, and there was absolutely no saving.
Because they don't
that
say.
table.
They wait till they get home and go anonymous and say. That's what happens.
pisses me off the
Yeah.
most.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a problem, let me fix it. Give me the chance to fix it.
Right.
And if
Well, the
I
fix-
still didn't fix it and you leave unhappy, okay,
Yeah.
well, then go online and say, but they did try.
Yeah. I think what bothers me the most too is like when people are like, I've had such a great experience like that all the time, and then but I had one bad experience and I'm never going back.
It's ridiculous.
But it's like, did you, like you said, did we
you
get a
say
chance
anything?
to fix it?
I
Like,
know.
do you like what is the I've like in my head when I pretend that I'm going to post something on Where Syracuse Eats, but I'm never going to. But I just want to know what like the realistic expectation is. Because like if we're putting out a product and then doing table touches, we're giving you service. If you complain, we're trying our best to make it right.
Right.
Like how come that's not enough though?
Yeah.
Like at
isn't
what
it-
point is it going to be like I tell my staff this all of the time. My expectation is not that you're to be perfect. That's an realistic expectation for me to set for you. My expectation is that you do as best as you can and you're completely honest.
Yeah.
So if you forgot to put a food order in, or if you fucked up a sandwich or
Absolutely.
whatever, that's okay, but you have to tell us so that we can fix it.
Yeah.
And so like that's the culture that we have. So I get annoyed when I'm like, we are going to fix the problem. I'm confident that we can fix it, but you're not going to tell anybody and then just post it. Like, what's the expectation here that we're perfect 100% of the time? Because that's not realistic.
But doesn't it give you so back when I worked at Dining Alliance, I was on the road a lot. I would drive, and if I went out of town, I'd rent a car. And I will never rent a car from anybody but Enterprise ever again. Always Enterprise. Is it because Enterprise has been perfect every single time I've ever rented it? Nope. It's because I had a problem and they fixed it.
Yep.
The problem was I was in Pennsylvania, downtown Philadelphia, went in for lunch one day, came out noon on a main street, and somebody did a smash and grab and stole my GPS. And I was like, fuck. I don't know how to get home. I don't have a GPS.
Yeah.
My window's broke. It's winter. All my shit's in the car. I call Enterprise. We have somebody who'll be there in 15 minutes.
Really?
They sent somebody with a new car. They helped me unload all of my stuff. They gave me a GPS for free and left. And before I got home, they sent me an email, and the manager called me to see if I was okay. I'll never use anybody else again. So given an opportunity to have a problem and then fix it is key. I told you the Applebee's story, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a good friend of mine back when we owned a bar, she had a part-time job working at Applebee's, the one over in Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. They had a couple come in, and it was bad. She said it was bad. Like just one of those nights, everything was fucked up. And they were super nice about it. And they were like, oh my gosh, we brought you new food. And like, oh, this is really cool. The manager came out and gave her a gift certificate for the meal. Plus they had their meal. And they got their name and address and everything. And Corey was the bartender at the time, said the manager like the next day or 2 days later, ordered them flowers, like a gift basket kind of thing, and sent it to their house. Sorry, those people go to Applebee's all the time
Yeah.
now because there was a problem. They fixed it, and now they're never going to not go anywhere.
Right.
So just because you're perfect, it can't be perfect all the time.
No,
But it's the
no.
fixing, it's
Yeah.
seeing a problem and fixing it that you should have a chance to do.
How does your staff, like, I'm sure it was probably like for you seeing all those negative comments or the whatever that on where Syracuse eats is taxing for you, but it's also taxing for your
Yeah.
staff that's busting their
Of
ass.
course.
And part of being an owner or a leader is like helping everybody through like that frustration. How do you do that?
I do it. So I'm a firm believer in keeping in constant contact with the entire staff as a team. You know, if I have a problem with a staff member, I'll obviously go one on one, and not make a public display of anything like that.
Mhm.
But to tackle something like the negative comments that came in, we have whole team group chats between the FOH, the BOH, and then the entire staff group
Mhm.
chats, whether it's through texting or the scheduling app that I use called Seven Shifts.
Mhm.
So it's just it's staying positive, really, is
Yeah.
what it is, and it's me putting it out there. You know, if any of you have any doubt in regards to the quality of the product we're putting out, please come spend a night with me and watch how I do meat
Yeah.
preparation. You
Yeah.
know, come at 7 a.m. when my morning meat guy is there pulling the brisket out of the cookers
Mhm.
and, pulling the pork out of the
Speaking of
cookers.
that, could she come in and work a shift? I saw her coming in a couple of times on some videos with Anthony.
Yeah.
Could she pull a shift? Is she
Oh,
good enough? Yeah.
she's good. Yeah.
You know Nicole.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
There's
Oh.
some videos out where she decided,
Oh.
I'm going to be Jeff Rodgers for a day.
Yeah.
She's like,
Oh.
what time is it? We got to do this. And you're like showing her the meat and cutting it and pulling it off. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they ended
That's
up
pretty cool.
coming and spending
She's so
a
talented,
good
man.
day with me.
She's
It's
so
fun.
talented in what
She's
she does.
amazing. Anthony,
She's
her and
awesome.
Anthony both are just such nice people.
Yeah, she's cool. She's the talent.
Yeah.
I tell Anthony all the time that she's way better than he is, but
Um,
and I'm just amazed. And she busts my chops about it, but I'm not somebody that you would typically think would be friends with Nicole. Like that she would be friends with me. I'm a 60 now. 60 is a big number, man. 60-year-old white conservative male. She's not.
Right.
And the fact that we're friends is kind of cool
It's awesome.
to me. I don't know if it's cool to her. I don't know if it's
she's
getting her
probably
any
like,
more.
oh, fucking.
I don't know if it gets her any more likes on the gram.
Yeah.
On the gram.
You're
Like
so
Graham.
old.
Anyways, yeah, it's
Yep.
it's literally just keeping the morale up with the
Yep.
staff,
Yeah.
staying positive.
Mhm.
We're gonna get through this. They
Mhm.
aren't gonna sink the ship,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And then during the state fair and during the first week of going back to school, staff was freaking out. You
Mhm.
know,
'Cause it's
and
slow,
they're
right?
like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, this is really affecting us. This and that, and this and that." I'm like, "It's the state fair and it's the
Yeah.
first week of school. Why do you think
Yeah.
I close Angry Garlic for a full
Yeah.
week
Yeah.
Yeah.
during the state fair? It's
Yeah.
that slow,
Yeah.
And and so I mean, this week we'll be right back to where we were.
Mhm.
Lunches have slowed down a little bit, which I'm fine with. The honeymoon stage is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And lunches are down to a reasonable pace that I'm sure my kitchen is very grateful for, and dinners are still crazy. So I have no complaints.
Yeah.
The and even some of the negative comments have drawn more business because people are like, well, I got to check this place out. What is
Yeah.
going on with all? What's the hype with the white bread?
Yeah.
Why have I heard some complaints about dry brisket in the pictures? It looks wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has actually drawn quite a bit more business as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Are you always going to be? We were talking earlier about Syracuse really not being a hotbed for the local music scene. There's a few places that do it really well. And when you do it, you got to commit.
Yeah.
You can't be once every couple months I'm going to have a band play. Okay, that's
No.
cool too if it's an event or something. But you got places that commit to music. And I told her, we like stopping at Smokehouse on our way home. We know there's going to be live music.
Yeah.
On the way home used to be 1:00 in the morning. Now it's 9:15.
Yeah.
But I know there's going to be a band, and there's been days when there's 80 people. There's been days when there's 8 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you're going to say, okay, I'm not booking a band.
No, I'll still have bands. I have bands 4 days a week there.
Yep.
Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday the blues lunch.
Yep.
And Angry Garlic, I've always done bands just on Saturdays
Yeah.
there, and I won't stop doing bands there.
And they're late.
Yeah.
You and Pizza Man do them
We
later
do
than
9 to 12 over there.
Yeah.
The Smokehouse is an early restaurant. I learned that very
Yeah.
quickly. By 11 o'clock, it's empty in there.
Yeah.
So, or even sometimes earlier. So I do the bands there. I do 8 to 11.
Yeah.
I might even change it to 7 to 10, to be honest with you. Um,
As long as I can come in and get my smoked spaghetti, I'm good, man.
you can. You can get your
Amazing.
smoked spaghetti. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to change it
Yeah.
ever. I love supporting the live
Yeah.
entertainment scene. I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
you've had, I mean, talented band, crazy cool bands.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm blues through and through.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, my dad started bringing me to the dyno when I was really little,
Mm.
and I fell in love with the blues then, and I just never stopped.
What did your dad do? Is he still alive? Or
No,
he-
no, he passed away a few years ago. He was he worked for Nymo for a long
Oh, yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, but he and I were big into. He was big into blues and barbecue, so started bringing me to dyno when I was young.
That's where it starts,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
John Stage is still a legend in my
Yeah.
eyes. You know.
I was able, when Anthony did all his podcasts over at the theater there. He I got to sit there and listen to him, and I
Yeah.
watched John and you know he did like Dan and Teresa Seeley, who are amazing people
Oh,
as
they're
well.
awesome. Yeah.
He had Karen from Possibilities and her
Yeah.
daughters, which is kind of a cool. We'd love to have Karen on a podcast as well and to tell the story and the transition and stuff. And they got up and like Anthony has a book of like questions he wants to ask, and he said something about smoking something or doing something, and John's eyes like lit up, and he just went into this whole thing about how you smoke it, a brisket, and where you get the fat, and what you do, and how do you do a rib, and it was like he was a little kid.
Yeah.
He's
That's
so
cool.
passionate about it, owning all these restaurants and being this icon or whatever. He's still just as passionate about the one thing, you know. So
Yep.
that was kind of
cool.
cool.
That is awesome,
Yeah, I've had a chance to meet him a couple of times. Nice guy, super good guy.
John.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super good guy.
Yeah.
But cool. But the best guy out there too. No offense to John, is Paulie. Do you know Paulie?
I've met Paulie a few times. I don't know him really, really well, but
Oh my God, there ain't a nicer guy in Syracuse. He's
At
such a
Apisa?
good dude. Apisa, yeah. He's looking for another space.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's nice to see us
For
coming on
what?
this.
For
Something different
oh,
concept.
cool.
He's
I
looking.
like that. I like doing. I don't know. I for a long time thought that I was just gonna try and do the brasserie and try and do like 4 or 5 of them. But it's nice to have different concepts.
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like you can diversify like what you're doing.
I'm not
But-
sure if I opened up another Angry with a different concept where I could go with it. Angry, I can't do Angry Onion.
Angry
Mm.
pasta.
Angry
Yeah,
pasta.
You know, I
Just
don't know.
make really spicy pasta dishes
Yeah.
all the time.
Plus, there's a lot of really good Italian restaurants in
I don't
Syracuse.
want
I'm
to
thinking-
compete with
no.
No.
Sant'Angelo's or any of that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Joey's and
Yeah.
Emano reopened.
Yeah.
at Bacoco, or what? How that name is? You see where you got the name from?
Yeah.
The name is the feeling you have when you're
I
get
did
done
see
eating.
that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty. We went the other night. It was amazing, and it's different. He went. It's still, I would consider it fine dining, but he went casual. Like everybody's wearing a shirt with the logo on it. It's not pressed white shirt like you expect to get it like
Mhm.
formal service.
Right.
The pizza's still there, so he's cool. That's a great place too. So
Yeah.
new places. I was saying before the old Mission restaurant's reopening.
It is. What's that opening
It's
at?
going to be called the Noble Cellar. She's going to.
What's their menu look like? You told me about.
I
the
haven't
space,
seen the
but-
menu yet,
oh.
but they hired Tim, chef from Florida, real talented guy. There'll be some seafood on it, some pasta dishes, but it's limited, a little upscale. They want to kind of be a cross of like Le Melange and the York,
Mm-hmm.
and they can only do beer and wine
Mm-hmm.
because they can't get so alcohol too close to the church. But that
Interesting.
building was in the basement was Underground Railroad.
Really?
And I've seen it. There's a fake wall, fake door kind of thing where you can crawl space and go into a little room where slaves used to sit and wait.
No way.
It's fucking goosebumpy,
Yeah, he
man.
just told
Oh
me
my
that.
God.
I
It's
feel
just
like
crazy
it's crazy.
goosebumpy.
That's
So
crazy.
it's going to be cool. And they own the dirt. They bought it from Ryan. And they're going to do some good stuff over there. They're younger kids in 30s.
I love it.
Yeah. So it's great to see that space reopen.
Mhm.
So they end of October, beginning of November, maybe. So that's going to reopen. You said there's a new wine bar.
Yeah, it's called Nobody's, I think, in Armory Square.
Where's that going?
across from Flintstone, like
Yep.
right next to where Kasai used to be.
Gotcha.
I think that's where it is. I haven't been there yet, but I think they just launched. But I just will always think that Syracuse just has the potential to do just to like keep growing.
Yeah,
Like
there's cool places. I
there's
don't want
so
people to say
many
there isn't.
yeah, and there's so many cool people, like people
Yeah.
that want to invest in the community and can do cool
Yep.
things.
Yep.
So it's nice to see people still continue to open
It's
after we had
awesome.
a couple of rough years. But
I love it.
yeah.
We have usual questions we usually ask at the end, goofy questions. So, what's your favorite movie?
Tombstone.
Tombstone. Oh, good movie. Why?
Uh, I like just the bad guy, good guy thing. I
Yeah,
guess.
Tombstone.
I
Oh.
think I was born in the wrong era.
Yeah.
I think I should have been born back then.
Do you see yourself with a cowboy hat
I
and
would
guns?
definitely have
Yeah.
two 6-shooters on
Yeah.
my sides.
But you don't go like if you could. You're not. I don't. You are you going to Nashville putting on a cowboy hat and a pair of boots?
No,
No.
no.
It's like when the TV show Sons of Anarchy
Yeah.
was on. I like binged it a lot, and I'd be upstairs.
That's one of my favorite shows.
It's a great show.
Oh,
Did you
it's
buy
good.
chaps? You
What's
bought
that?
chaps?
No,
for
I
your
would
bike?
come upstairs and my wife would say something to me like, "Hey, you want to meet your maker?" She's like, "Relax, you're the farthest thing from a badass fucking biker guy I've ever met." But I want to be, but
Yeah.
I would never like put on the
No.
chaps or own a
I
motorcycle.
own a
or-
cowboy hat. I own a couple of them because I thought that I would look okay in one.
You know, it
I
doesn't
look
work.
absolutely
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it doesn't work.
I look ridiculous, and I so badly want to look good in a cowboy hat.
I feel yeah, I
I
don't
would
know.
wear one.
Girls look. I think cowboy hats on a girl look good.
I think cowboy boots are in style, like trending right now
Yeah.
for girls to wear
Yeah.
or guys to wear. Just people.
Kim bought a pair when we were in Nashville. first time.
Really?
Like,
Yeah,
oh my
I
god,
don't
you have to
know.
back.
I
They were
could
like
never-
$100, and she's worn them 5 times.
Yeah.
I can't.
Red cowboy boots.
I
Sexy.
can't. I can't pull that off. I don't think I'm confident
You
enough
can't pull
to.
off sexy.
No, the
I mean, I don't
cowboy
know.
boots
Maybe you
and
could. Not to me, you couldn't. but
no.
Maybe to Pat. But, you know, hopefully.
All right.
The next question was, do you ever have a nickname growing up or whatever? What was
Stir, Ster was my nickname all growing up.
Stir,
because-
Ster. Why?
Ster. Even at a young age, I was playing bartender and making drinks in
Like
high
at young age,
school,
like
14, 15, 16
oh my
years
god,
old.
yeah.
You know, mom and dad would go away. My
Yeah.
older brothers would throw a party at the house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd be the one making drinks in the kitchen. And it went from Jeff Stir to just Stir, and then
Oh, Jeff Stir. That's pretty cool.
because I was stirring all the drinks all the time for my brother's friends, and then my brothers would eventually lock me in the bedroom so that I couldn't be a part of the party.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
terrible.
how long? People
And then
now know that name, or
Oh yeah, people still call me Stir or Jr. I mean,
JR?
either
JR
one.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, my close friends that have known me a long time still call me Stir.
Stir. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Good nickname. And then Michelle always has the last question.
The best one.
She has to go
Um,
last.
So if you like wanted people to take one thing away about you from this podcast, what would it be? What would you want them to like
Re-
know about you?
Me regarding business? Or
No,
just
just
me?
anything.
you as a person.
Anything?
I think that I would have to say, can I say two things?
Sure.
Sure.
One, family will always come before business for me.
Mhm.
My kids and my wife are the most important thing in my life, and that will always take the place before business. And I expect the same thing with my staff. I want their family to always
Oh,
come
really cool.
before.
Yeah.
It's family first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always family first. And it's the same way with my staff. If they have something going on with family and they need time off, I make it very clearly known to them that I understand. I'll
Mhm.
cover your shift for you if
Okay.
I have to.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would have to say is that until I decide to fully retire, I will never get out. I love this industry. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I
I feel
love
like you could tell.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's something you definitely could tell. You wouldn't
Yeah.
have to be said.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
Watching you coming out of the kitchen and delivering food to people and having them talk to you and you know explaining what it is and being it's just so you can't fake that shit. You know
I
you
love
can't
it.
Yeah.
fake that.
Cool. Well, thanks so
Cool.
much. It was
Awesome.
great talking
Thank you,
with
Jeff,
you.
so
Yeah.
much.
you
This
guys.
was cool.
Yeah.